you're being asked to quote a salary after a break. So I was very confused whether I should ask for the same salary that I got then, or whether I should be asking for something more or less or whatever.
Hi there, I'm Sheetal and welcome back to my channel. How to get back into a job or a career after a longish kind of career break. Check out all the job portals that you can. So not just the Naukri, the Monster, or all the other main job portals, but there are a lot of these job portals which are specifically for people who are coming back from a career break, especially women, like sherose.com, or there's jobsforher.com. Then I think there was something called Second Career or something. I don't know if it's still there. So Avatar, and there are quite a few of those. And they have a lot of these flexible options, especially for working women and moms. Those flexible options will not be there for every single job profile, because the job profile also decides whether you have those options. But other than that, it gives you an access to connect with a lot of employers who are willing to meet you at a middle ground. It's not just the people who for whom you have to go to office and sit there and work for these many hours, and it's a much more understanding crowd, A. And B also is that they are aware that you are coming back from a career break, or it might be a different career from what you were doing before. They're aware of that. So that gives you an edge. Having said that, a disclaimer, it was not through any of these sites that I finally found my job, but it was a real help, because they also help you through the transition phase, and how to face an interview and all. They have some summits and some conferences on that and things like that, which will really help you. And most importantly, they were a ray of hope during my job hunting days. I used to keep thinking, even when I don't see anything that is suitable or relevant to me in Naukri and all that, I would keep thinking something will work out over there. There people are aware, they'll call me for sure. Salary negotiations. This was something I really struggled with. After this career break, the biggest problem is that you really don't know what you can quote, because you know what is the last salary which you drew, which was 3 years back or 4 years back. So I was very confused whether I should ask for the same salary that I got then, or whether I should be asking for something more or less or whatever. So what I did was I actually spoke with a few friends who are HR partners or recruitment people or with agencies and things like that. I spoke with them and tried to figure out what is the kind of thing that I should do in that scenario. What a couple of them told me was that take your last drawn salary and then build on it to a max of 30%, taking inflation and other things into account. So yeah, you acknowledge that you've got a break of 3 years. I remember there was a person who asked me, what makes you think that we can even pay you the same salary that you earned last? Forget another 30% hike on it. So what you can very confidently say is that I have the skill sets. It's just about scaling up or learning a bit more or something like that. But I've proven in my career that I can do this. Now, I'm also thinking about inflation that has happened and putting across value to you. Now, you tell me what you can pay, and be open to negotiations, but don't make it sound as if they can go too low, because many people will try to take advantage of it. That is the first problem. Second problem is also that this somehow makes you look as if you're not confident enough. So don't fall into that trap. Be very confident. Mention that you're not trying to overachieve, and be aware that you're not quoting a figure that is out of the stadium. You are still aware of where you stand, but you can wiggle in somewhere around 10 to 20% at least increase on your earlier salary. Have a heart to heart with your family. Now, obviously, now that you've been at home and have taken a career break for such a long time, it is given that everybody has fallen into some kind of a routine at home. And all of that is about to be shaken, probably much more than it was before, now that you're going back into a work stream. So before you join back to your office, make sure that you have very honest conversations about what you need, what you think should be the new dynamics, and also how important this job is for you. Make the other person understand that this is not just a hobby, this is not just something that I can take on without your help. This is something that I need not just your full support, but I need you to be cheering me on this, because it's difficult enough as it is going back into that scenario after such a long break. On top of that, if I falter somewhere, you need to be there not just to hold my hands, but to actually run with me there. That's the kind of conversation you need to have with your spouse or your significant other, especially because now that everything is going to change, they are going to be your rock. Make sure you get their support. Don't make it into a nagging session or anything of that sort. Just make it very, put it across very calmly, but in a very nice way. Get their confidence, make them feel involved and important. And I'm sure they'll help you out in this. Prepare your child mentally. A series of books that helped me a lot in this was these. I don't know if you're familiar with them. There are these small books called Pepper books, so which you use for typically toddlers and preschoolers. They had this one book saying "Mama's got a new job." I remember reading that out to my preschooler at that point in time, and this helped me quite a bit in getting across the idea to her that mama is going for a new job. But mom, so that whole book also goes like that. But the baby doesn't want the mom to go. But mom says, it's very important for me. I find a lot of happiness. You go to school and have your friends around. I go to office and have my friends around. And, it's put in a way that is really relatable for a child. I'm sure there must be other books and other, I don't know, or audiobooks and other places that put across the same idea. This was the one that I used. That's why I'm saying that over here. But make sure you start introducing the idea of the mom going to work in these stories and little conversations that you can have with your kid, so that much before you actually start going, they can get used to it. I remember I've even dressed up on a few occasions and put on my bag and, made up my face and all that and said that mama's going to office. I have a meeting. And then I've gone to a coffee shop nearby and sat for like an hour and come back. Because even that's a small transition, it's not small transition, big transition for your child. They are used to seeing you around all the time. And then suddenly you're going to be absent from their world for about a whole day. So you need to get them used to it. Now, this is especially important if you're figuring out a childcare that works from home. In the sense, like if it is a nanny or something, then obviously you're not going to be there at home. If you're dropping your child to a daycare, this becomes easier because anyway the child would be used to not being there during the daycare hours. But if they are still at home, then you need to figure out a way to slowly ease them into it. So start going out for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, half a day. I remember I've even gone and watched a movie by myself while leaving my baby back with childcare and telling her that I'm, going to office. I felt a little guilty doing it, but it was necessary. So what else? Now, this last point is something that you will hate me for saying. I remember I hated everybody who told me this, and that is be patient. It will all work out. Such a cliche, I know, but unfortunately, very true. Oh, I remember I used to hate it when somebody tells me, okay? I used to even tell my husband, what do they know? They can just keep saying that, wait it out, it'll all work out. Do they realize how much difficulties I'm going through, what all I'm going through over here, and all that? And he also used to tell me the same thing. But having gone through that whole process, now unfortunately, I also have to say the same thing. Be patient. It'll all work out. It definitely will. But it's just that you have to hang on. And I know that the waiting period is not at all easy. Especially for me, it was like, oh, torture. But once you get through it, you will realize that that was all needed. That period was needed for you to mature enough into going into that job now. So wait it out, have confidence in yourself, have hope. It will definitely work out. Now, what else can I say? Happy job hunting to you. Oops, I forgot to say something. So until I see you again in the next video, stay safe.